Praise be to God. It's again a great joy to meet you through this small video. I was reading Numbers chapter 22, when I stumbled upon this thought, and I am sure that these words will be an encouragement to you. One of the things that normally all people hate is to be cursed. When I say cursing, it's not just using bad words. It's literally saying that you will never come up in life, or sometimes curse words have become part and parcel of our life. Sometimes parents curse children knowingly or unknowingly. Sometimes it happens in our workplaces. Sometimes it even happens in our streets. Where we go out in our travels. This is something that happens, and sometimes these words of curse hurt us very deeply. And we wonder we get scared when somebody curses us. We get disturbed when somebody curses us. Today I just want to talk to you, address just a very small thing in regards to that, even before we close. When we look at Numbers chapter 22, we see about the children of Israel. They have been traveling. They had just left Egypt, and they have been traveling through Mount Sinai. They have been traveling through all these wilderness, and now they came to a place called Moab, to a country called Moab. So when they came to this small country called Moab, and they haven't entered into the country yet. When we look at Numbers chapter 22, we can see this first verse. It says like this: Israel journeyed and camped in the plains of Moab. And verse 2, when Balak, he was the king of Moab at that time, when he saw all that Israel had done to Amorites, they have literally killed everybody. They have literally won all those territories, and they have been just walking. Anybody that came against them on the way, Israelites, with the power of God, they were able to overcome them, and now they are in the plain of Moab. And when they came to Moab, and the king understands one thing, that these Israelites are very powerful, and it is not going to be a cakewalk to defeat them. So this king, he plans something very unique. When we look at verse 6, when we look at verse 5 and 6, he goes to a man by the name of Balaam. There is a man by the name of Balaam, and he was living in the territory of Moab. So now he goes to Balaam, and he says, Balaam, you have the power to bless and to curse. When we read at verse 6, the second part of verse 6, it says like this: For I know whom you bless is blessed, and whom you curse is cursed. Now literally the king knew the power of this man by the name Balaam. He was in fact a man of God. So this guy had the power to bless. I'm sure we all have that power. We all have those. We have the words that can bless others. We also have the words that can curse others. The words of life and death. Life and death is in our tongue actually. So this guy had the power that if he blesses somebody, they will be blessed, and if he curses somebody, they will be cursed. Now this king knew about the power that Balaam had. So he goes to Balaam and he says, I know that you have a power that whomever you bless will be blessed, and whomever you curse will be cursed. So now I want you to come with me and look at all these Israelites who have been camping in this plain of Moab, and I want you to curse them for me, because I cannot win this battle by myself. But he says like this, when you curse them, please come and curse these people, because they are too mighty for me, and perhaps then I will be able to defeat them and drive them out of the land. This guy was trying to protect his territory. So he says, I cannot defeat them by myself, but I can do one thing: if you curse them, then I can defeat them. If you curse them, I can defeat them. Today we encounter such situations in our life always. People who try to curse us so that they can break us down. Sometimes people use words, unnecessary words, unwanted words, bad words, dirty words, and whatever you want to call it as. They use all these words to to break you down so that they can completely destroy you. So here this Balak tries the same old trick. He invites Balaam saying, I'll give you all the treasures that you need. Whatever you want, I will give you. But just do one thing. Come and curse these people. The moment you curse them, they will be cursed. Then I will go and destroy them. So this guy, first he hesitates, second time he hesitates, then he goes, and then we know this incident of a donkey trying to correct this man of God. So finally he goes there, and now he stands upon a small hill, and now he verse number 5, chapter 23, Numbers chapter 23 and verse 5, it says like this: Then the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth. Then the Lord, now he goes out there to curse these people. The king has said, curse them, and now he has climbed a mountain. He has done all the offerings of a bull and a ram, everything. When we look at Numbers chapter 23 and verse 2, we can see that he has brought out all the offerings and he has done everything there. And now he is about to start to curse them. He's about to speak. Then the Lord, verse 5 it says, then the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth, and when he was about to open his mouth, what did the words that came out? What did the words come out? Verse 8 it says, how shall I curse whom God has not cursed? How can I curse whom God has not cursed? How can I denounce whom the Lord has not denounced? Isn't it amazing? How can I curse whom the Lord has not cursed? How can I denounce something? How can I denounce something which the Lord has not denounced? Today, when people rise to destroy us, when people rise to curse against us, today I want to tell you something. They cannot do it unless and until the Lord allows them to do it in your life. Job, the devil tried to destroy him. All that the devil could see was God's protection over Job. That he went and complained to God saying that you have protected him and I'm unable to do anything. Today we need to know one thing. When we are in the hand of God, when we are in the center of God's will, when we are in the hand of God, nothing can touch us unless and until the Lord allows it. Let me repeat to you again. When I am in the center of God's will, when we are in the hand of God, nothing can touch us unless and until the Lord allows it. Here, the man who came to curse says, how can I curse whom God has not cursed? How can I curse? In other words, the verse says like this: how can I curse whom the Lord has blessed? Whom the Lord has blessed. Now I just want to conclude with one verse from Proverbs chapter 26. Proverbs chapter 26, it says like this, Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 2, it says like this: like a sparrow which wanders, like a swallow that keeps flying, so is a curse that comes without a cause. Like a sparrow that wanders, like a swallow that keeps flying, so is a curse that comes without a cause. It might be elders, it might be great men, it might be intellectual people, it might be very highly spiritual people, but today I want to tell you, when we are in the center of God's will, when we are in the hand of God, curses without causes will not rest upon your head. No, there's nothing to be scared. Let us learn to stay in the center of God's will. Let us learn to stay with God, in God, so that how much ever the devil rises up against us, we will know one thing: nothing shall harm me unless and until the Lord allows it. That is why Joseph told his brothers, you try to harm me, but the Lord changed that harm into good. May God be with us and may God guide us. Be encouraged. Do not be scared about the mere words of men. Do not be scared of the mere words of men. May God build us up and may God turn all our curses into blessing. Amen. May God be with us. Amen and amen.